So today I will be presenting the research paper Effective Coping with Loneliness, a Review, written by Ami Rokash and published in the Open Journal of Depression in 2018. We're going to do this presentation in three main parts. First, we're going to briefly go through the causes of loneliness that Rokash reports. And then Rokash separates loneliness into two categories. One is the feeling of being lonely, the pain and distress of feeling lonely. And also the second part is the actual practical loneliness of being isolated, of not having many people around you. And Rokash explores the different ways someone might stop that from being a problem, so how to get more people into your life. So we're going to go through the cause of loneliness to begin with. And Rokash states that everyone can experience loneliness, even married people, even people who are very popular, even people who are socially skilled. Rokash research states that it's the quality of the social connections that matter more than the quantity. So it matters more that the individual is happy with the social connections they have in their life, rather than having lots of people around them. Rokash's research also showed that entering relationships with just anyone because you are afraid of being lonely can backfire. It can cause you to feel even more lonely than if you had just stayed alone. So he goes in depth into what a person can do to prevent that from happening. We're going to discuss that later on. Rokash also brings up that insecure attachment styles can cause loneliness. Rokash mainly focuses on neediness, clinginess, and desperation, so traits of anxious attachment style in his paper, which we're also going to go through at a later time. But now let's start with coping with the pain of feeling lonely, with the distress of feeling lonely. So Rokash's research from 1988 showed that the distressing feeling of loneliness is similar to the shock of a traumatic event. His research supports that being lonely, feeling lonely is very, very painful. And Rokash presents 5 different areas of focus for coping with the pain of feeling lonely. So we're going to go through acceptance and reflection, self-development and understanding, social support network, distancing and denial, and religion and faith. So first, acceptance and reflection. Rokash states that the first thing an individual needs to do to cope with the pain of feeling lonely is to accept the reality that you are lonely. To just accept and not deny, not run from it, not try to numb it, just accept the reality that you are lonely. Rokash further claims that the way to handle feeling lonely is to choose to be alone, to not cling to other people, to not rush to make new connections, but to first start by just being alone. And he states that in loneliness, it's important to notice your needs, your fears, and your wishes to increase your self-awareness, which will help you later on when you begin to reach out to people again. And he states that Rokash states that it's very important to learn to enjoy your own company. Rokash then states that self-development and understanding is highly important, and by this he means that it's important to seek therapy and possibly therapeutic support groups, because in those areas you can learn about yourself, about your own inner world, about your behaviors, about your patterns, which can lead to growth, which can lead to healthier connections in the future. And Rokash also claims that these places offer spaces of safe connection to others without fear of judgment. So you can express your inner world without fearing negative consequences from people around you. You can be open and honest and process things without negative consequences. Then Rokash goes into the importance of a social support network. This part Rokash really emphasizes is highly important. Rokash claims that having a social support network is a survival need, and he backs this up with research that shows that having a good social support network makes people more optimistic, more generous, and more resilient to disease and hardships. So Rokosh encourages people to create or mend social support networks. If people feel that they have them but they are insufficient, he states that people should make them better, improve them. Then distancing and denial. So Rokosh cites research that there's negative ways of handling loneliness too, mainly in the forms of denying, numbing, or escaping loneliness. So Rokosh research shows that people can resort to using drugs and alcohol to numb the feeling of loneliness, to escape the reality that they are lonely. And that some people even resort to joining criminal gangs to find some space where they can find connection and belonging. Rokosh, in his research, states that to his surprise, he found that religion and faith is highly important in coping with the pain of feeling lonely. Rokosh states that having faith that you are connected to and protected by a powerful higher being is very important. So a god or the universe or some sort of higher spiritual being, it protects you from feeling the pain of being lonely, even if it doesn't change the actual loneliness itself. Rokosh further claims that going on spiritual quests can lead to acceptance of suffering and a belief that your pain has spiritual meaning, which further soothes the pain one might experience from feeling lonely. Rokosh also addresses the fact that partaking in religious groups lead to practical belonging, which decreases the painful feeling of loneliness. And then behavioral changes that reduce loneliness. So Rokosh research shows that the most effective way of reducing practical loneliness is by first going to therapy. And out of all the things you can do in therapy, Rokosh's research shows that the best thing you can do is to challenge your maladaptive social cognitions. And maladaptive social cognitions basically means it's unhelpful thoughts or ideas about yourself, about other people, about social interactions. So it doesn't really matter if those beliefs are true or not. What matters is that they are unhelpful. So an example of this might be, nobody likes me because of how I look, or I always mess up, or I'm so boring, no one will want to talk to me, things like that. So addressing these maladaptive social cognitions is the most effective way of reducing loneliness, according to Rokosh's research. Rokosh further claims that going to therapy can help you improve your self-image. It can make you more confident. Rokosh also claims that in therapy it can be helpful to process the effects from early and important social connections. So that means the relationships you had with your parents, with your family, with your peers, and early relationships that you had. He also further claims that in therapy you can build coping and problem-solving skills. And Rokosh argues that in therapy you can get encouragement to seek social connections, so the therapist can sort of cheer you on from just being a safe connection in and of itself, to also encourage you to go and find other social connections. Rokosh also argues that joining social groups is very helpful to reduce loneliness. Because it increases opportunities for social connections. Basically, if you're around a lot of people, odds are higher that you will meet someone you can be friends with than if you are just home alone. Rokosh also states that his research shows that when you join social groups, you can practice improving your social skills, which also helps in reducing loneliness in the future. And Rokosh also states that making friends reduces loneliness. And that it can increase social support. Rokosh's research also goes into depth into the importance of choosing good partners. He cites a lot of research stating that it is highly important to choose partners who are affectionate, loving, accepting, supportive, and attentive. If a romantic partner is not those things, it is highly likely that an individual will feel very alone in their relationship, even if they are good in other ways. Rule-Carter's research also shows that it's important to have a partner with whom you can feel free to share the intimate parts of your inner life, a partner with whom you can resolve conflict with, a partner who grows at the same pace and intensity as you do, and a partner with whom you can be interdependent. So not be clingy and needy, as Rorschach frequently states in his paper, and also not hyper-independent, but you can feel comfortable being both connected and being independent in the relationship. So final thoughts. Rorschach's paper mainly focuses on an individual person's coping strategies, and he mainly focuses on the coping strategies of just one type of person, as we talked about before, the anxiously attached. And Rorschach also mentions people who have learned helplessness. But obviously other types of people can also feel lonely for other reasons. People with autism, mental illnesses, disabilities, other types of avoidant attachments, like avoidant and fearful avoidant attachment. And he also doesn't really bring up environmental factors that can contribute to loneliness, such as racism, homophobia, and bullying.